What's up, Howard?
What's going on, Jason? How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Living fantastic, eating a banana, enjoying my Sunday. What's good?
Beautiful.
I hear
Oh
kids in the
my.
background.
Yes. You you peed your pants? It's fine. My son had an accident.
That's nice. That's nice. At least
Yeah.
he's honest about it.
Right. At least he's honest. It happens. Um,
So, we are here to talk about wonders of the inner cosmos, all right?
we are,
And
yeah.
we're here to talk about at least the wake up and wonder version and I guess, the inner space archaeologist cosmic version of it that I offer, called Masters of the Master Your Cosmos.
Right.
So, I think we got like at least one person on here. That's good. One can form many. Thank you so much for
Yes.
taking the space. Let's start with just how's your Sunday been, Jason? What you been up to?
Oh, it's been good. It's been relaxing. So I slept in, woke up, did my morning routine, worked out, made breakfast with the wife and kids, and actually got to do a Reiki session. So that was powerful.
Yeah,
Did Reiki on my partner actually. Never
yeah.
done that before, so it was a new experience. And then my kids wanted to get out of the house. We went to a park and we went to this place called the Cookie Plug.
Never heard of
So they sell purple drink. It's purple milk or purple lemonade. And all their
that.
cookies are
That Cali.
sold in like the dime sack and in the dub sack
Holy
quantities.
Cali. That sounds
Right.
awesome, man. That sounds
It,
good.
yeah, it was like a trap house for cookies. It was pretty interesting, and they had like Rick Ross bumping, Dr. Dre.
That's what's up. Where the
What's up,
pictures at
Wes?
though? You didn't take any pictures?
I didn't take any pictures. I was just enjoying the moment. I was being in the moment. But next time I will
Awesome.
get some pictures. I'm sure we'll be back.
Awesome. Well, my day's pretty much been fantastic in its own way. I woke up early, did my usual stretching and meditation, and even got excited about some of the things that I wanted to get done. Starting next month, my wife and I, or new wife to be, we're going to be working out together. So I'm kind of excited on the
Cool.
routines we're going to find together and possibly, hopefully, consistently do. You know, we're
Yeah.
definitely coming from different spaces about it. So I see a lot of mastering needed individually and together.
And I saw you guys just recently got engaged like yesterday, right?
Pretty much like the other day. We've been
Congratulations.
together and been at it for so long, but it's the whole public facing that we're like, all right, if we're definitely gonna be married soon enough, we might as well tell everybody we're engaged while we're at it.
Right.
Um,
Make it public. It's more accountability to be had for sure.
oh yeah, yeah. And even as a man and just knowing what I want and feeling confident about my decisions, it's always good to remember what it took to get here. Yeah.
True that. True that.
Yeah. So,
Cool.
the wonders of the inner cosmos for these watchers and listeners.
Yeah, sorry, I'm flipping my camera really quick. Let's see if that
Cool.
worked. I realized I was looking down on the screen. No, not gonna work. All right.
No, no, no. It was
It
fine the
worked.
way it was.
Okay, cool. So, Wonder of the Inner Cosmos for the watchers and listeners.
Yeah. I want to start by saying that, and I said it on the podcast, and I said it in a recent episode that's dropping tomorrow. We are so good, you and I. We are so fortunate, but yet so good at designing our life. And now that we've taken these individual paths to know how to design our life, we came together to try to offer that. I don't know if um, a good way to put, there's different examples, but the best way I like it is like we're going hand in hand. We're not trying to
Yes.
take from each other's course, but we're trying to enhance the freedom and the truth that comes from when you work on something. You can find community in others and you can work together.
Yeah, very complimentary. And I think what we're trying to convey is that it's not so much about who you're doing the work with and who is
Mm.
helping people heal or where people are growing. It's just a matter of being in a space where you can grow, being in a space where you all have space to heal and you are able to do the work no matter where you're doing it.
So you know what I was thinking? It was offering somewhat of a free version of this course.
Okay.
And I know, right? I'm on live putting it out there. But the only reason why, as to the accountability portion, is that so when we came together on this idea, the biggest thing is that we wanted to add value. Value was the kind of the overall umbrella because we saw a lot of value in what we did and what we have to offer each other. That's why we're taking each other's course. But how do we know what is actual value to people? You know, what do we know what they want? If we're coming with the subject of trying to help people, what does that look like? You know, some people are need like someone to hold their hand. Some people need you to actually tell them something over and over. Some just need to watch it. You know, they need to watch and or see you do it, and then they can go ahead and duplicate. They just need to like crack that matrix or see someone do it for the first time. So the value that we're offering here with this course is the beauty of the individuals, myself and Jason, being able to walk and navigate our path together, right? I'm going to talk a lot about what my Masters of Your Cosmos course is and the examples that I'm going to be giving. And Jason's going to give his biggest example with the Wake Up and Wonder and how that's all a part of what Wonders of the Inner Cosmos is all about. Value. The more you, I would say, the more you learn from it, the more you can take from it. What do you think of some examples of values, Jason?
Well, I mean, right off the bat, you were talking about ego and how you offered to just, we should do this course for free.
Mm.
I'm 100% on board with, donating money
Parts of
to
it, yeah.
our causes. Yeah, but I believe that people need to have skin in the game. I just launched a 6-week course. I just completed it. And out of the 10 people that were in there, the two that had zero skin in the game, they were the first two to drop out. So, when people have some type of a financial investment, they feel tied,
Yeah,
they're going
yeah,
to stick
yeah,
through. And I know we're only doing a 2-day course. It's only going to be 2 hours each day, this
yeah,
sort of retreat masterclass. But I still feel like there needs to be some skin in the game, and then we can donate it to our favorite causes. And I
yeah,
think having that skin in the game is only going to add more value. People,
yeah.
because because they're paying for it financially upfront, they feel more tied in, more invested, and they're more willing to go all in and to just put forth the energy. And I think that's the biggest thing when we're kind of guiding people through our courses. It
Mm,
comes down to the amount of energy that's put in is what people are going to receive on the back end. Because we're
love
not
it.
saviors. We're not here to, like fix everything and solve their problems. No, we're
No,
just here to hold space. We're just here to help them gain understanding, to gain
yeah,
new revelation, to get that one perspective shift. A lot of times, all it is that one perspective shift, and all the value that you needed or that you thought you desired. That's all it took is that one perspective shift, and you've received the value. And then on
yep,
top of that, when you're in this container with other people,
yep.
now if everyone has their own perspective shift, then you're getting more and more value each time you see this different
Yep.
perspective shift for someone else.
No, I would agree with that. I think what I'm hearing too is when relationships are offered, there's a lot of perspective there, at least perspective shift, definitely on one side of the other. You know, when you're with someone and you decide to work things together, whether it be a work relationship, a friend relationship, a family relationship, an intimate relationship, the idea is that you give and you take. Your point of us not being saviors, we're working the mission ourselves. I love to think of myself as a novice of my own work, a child at
Amen.
heart,
Yes.
taking it piece by piece. But there's also that space of the confidence in what you're doing, even in the unknown, taking that dive, taking that walk, taking that journey. And a lot of it, for us leaders, sometimes it's done alone. Here's an opportunity to do it with someone. Here's an opportunity for someone to say, hey, you know what? I've been really wanting to do better for myself, or at least consider what those examples might look like in my daily life, whether it be waking up early in the morning and taking some spiritual space before you pick up your phone, or before you decide to get online, or before you decide to smoke a cigarette, or anything like that. Just taking that silence or that solitude for yourself, how important that is. Just having, again, the example and I don't know, the accountability. You mentioned that in that space, and how, I don't know, I think it's so good to have that. I'm so glad I have that in you and in other spaces around me. But because we want to offer that value to the listeners and the followers and the people who are going to consider taking this course and who are going to be a part of this course, they're going to get the return because they've already decided, right? They've already decided, and here comes the value through the work. So I love that. I think the hardest thing for most of us, even for myself, is just deciding. The work
Yeah.
can be easy when it's fun, but just deciding. And sometimes I need someone to show me to do that, or at least hold my hand, or give me some kind of
And
support to go into it.
yeah, and that's the all-in factor. Like if we're gonna bungee jump off a building or something, we either need somebody to give us that push, or we need
Yeah.
to, be within ourselves ready to go all in. But if not, we need the help.
Word.
Howard, so I want to get a little bit personal here, a little bit vulnerable, if you don't mind. And I want to ask if people listen to the episode where you interviewed me on your podcast, I believe it was your most recent episode.
Yeah.
I got vulnerable and I shared my story a little bit, and I shared how wonder helped me through dark times and how why wonder is so important to me and how it's going to impact us on this course. So I want to
Yeah.
ask you about living cosmically and how is this living cosmically? Why is it so important? Where did it come from? I know you're in Colorado. I know you're all about movement, mindfulness, meditation. You're all about parkour.
Hmm.
So how does living cosmically tie into all of that? Can you just give us a little bit of
Um,
background?
well, it is living cosmically, like you said. So living means it's an action, it's active, it's dynamic. It becomes a part of a path. So I consider like a Bruce Lee way of life where I take from things that offer me value, that are important, whether it be condition of the physical or of the mind. And then I decide like, hey, I want to keep that in my life. Now, how do I keep that in my life? How do I find a way to incorporate that thing into what I'm doing every day? Or how do I shift into that thing? So it could be
Mm,
something like fitness. I like fitness. I've conditioned in many different ways, gone to the gym, got a personal trainer, follow videos online, designed my own videos, became a certified trainer, blah, blah, blah. Right now, the conditioning of strength training, homemade fitness, calisthenics and parkour, that's my dream space. So living cosmically is conditioning or accepting that as my space and giving it all I got when I'm in that space. If I want to run, then I can always go into parkour or take away from those three spaces and find one. Let's say I don't weight train that day or strength train that day. I decide to go run, but I don't add to it. I value those three. And then if I want to add something new, if I want to go biking, if I want to go skydiving, whatever it is, I might say, well, I'm not going to go parkour today, or I'm not going to go calisthenics today. Instead, I'll do this and do that. And that way I know I still give value and respect to the thing that was there before. And whatever I'm going to put in place of it, I can still put that same energy that I'm used to into the thing that was previously there. Living cosmically is about owning what it is you're doing and finding spaces of response, finding responsibility in that space and doing it. And there's many
got
things
it.
that I do with my life, the financial management, looking and managing that weekly, daily, taking responsibility of purchasing and not purchasing. All those things play into that joy.
So when did this living cosmically start? Because you talk
Well,
about, yoga, calisthenics,
when did
parkour,
it
body
start?
weight.
Ooh,
You talk about being healthy, but to be honest, I
mm,
think I recall just from talking a little bit offline, you mentioned one time you had a heart attack. So,
yeah,
that sounds
yeah.
like you weren't always healthy or there was some sort of complication. Is that when it started or when did it start?
There's two answers to that. It started because I was always like that. Now,
Mm,
me deciding to learn to get better with myself expose who that was. But when it started in the space of what even brought me to go down that path is trauma. Examples of my life where I grew up with a heart condition, examples of where my family space wasn't tradition. So I had to learn through those examples. Examples of where my growing up space, lack of friends or lack of communication in friendships, and getting hurt, getting in fights, getting beat up, um, all those things accumulated into, okay, people can still keep making me into what they want, but what do I want? And how important is it for me to have those things in relation to how I show up in the world? And it became very easy because again, I was just distraught. I had trauma, I had problems, I was messed up. And
yeah.
so I didn't like the way I felt. And it showed up in my career. It showed up how I treated people. It showed it how I treated myself. And it just became a way of like, I got to get better. If I love the woman I'm with, if I love the work I'm offering, if I love my family and I want them around more or I want to be more in their life, then I really got to get rid of that garbage. I got to get rid of
Mm,
it. I can't leave it in the kitchen, period, and expect it not to smell. Somebody's got to change the trash. And as a
yeah.
man, I believe at least that's one of my responsibilities at a house. At least one thing that I should do every time, if not all the time. If I'm not here, or if I forget, or if she finds space to do it, or she wants to do it, there's nothing wrong with that. But being able to clean up myself is my responsibility in my home.
Right.
So the vulnerability came from just saying, man, you suck. You really suck right now, and you're losing things. People are making fun of you. You don't look good right now in regards of how you're carrying yourself, and you should
So
fix that.
so being able to look in the mirror now, was it more so you looking in the mirror on your own accord and having this conversation with yourself, or was it more so like reflections of people, telling you that either consciously or subconsciously, or reflections of people like friendships breaking off and stuff not going the right way? How did it happen, directly or indirectly?
All of that, bro. All of
All
that.
of it.
It started indirectly because I didn't want to notice it in the space of like, I blame other people more than I blame myself.
Hmm.
Like it was somebody else's fault. It became a game, even. And I love games, so the game continued. And the joy of it was that I could make it, I could make it into a story how it was somebody else's fault. But then when I realized how powerful I was in that story, then it had to be me, the story creator, that was at fault, not the story and who the
Right.
characters were, but the actual writer. So it's that that outside perspective. And it's retrospective. I see it myself, but I had to take the Google view first, so step outside of what I was doing and what was happening.
Yes, that's powerful. That has me think of that phrase, change your story, change your life.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and that's how it was. You caught onto your story, you didn't like the story, so you set out to change it, and from there you're able to change your life. And I think that goes back to the notion of perspective shift.
yeah.
And I think that's why we complement each other so well in what we're trying to do here is because I feel like I am more of the perceptual type and the perspective shifting type with my wonder and my
Hmm.
possibility and my curiosity and this sense of expansion, whereas you yourself are more of the practical, the hands-on, like the physical
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
type with your resiliency and your habits and everything. And we both have habits, don't get me wrong, but they complement each other very much so.
Yeah, I just came back from the gym and I'm gonna probably do like a little bit of a workout before my day ends. And it's for me, I know I'm physical. It comes from a whole understanding the rising sign, the sun sign, and the moon sign. Like my dimensional vibration is about my physical perspective as much as it is my mental. So I dive into those beings or reflections of that and make sure that whatever is physical in my representation of that is whole, is shiny, is strong, is right. No, my body's not perfect, or no, it's not where I need it to be, but it's everything I want it to be. And that is more confidence to go into making it better because at least it's where I want it to be.
Right.
Um,
I
because
think
that's
it's
so.
what I
Go
think is
ahead.
powerful. What I'm hearing you say is because you've been willing to look in the mirror and to have these conversations because you've heard other people, call you out on your bullshit and you've actually listened to it and you've actually taken action. Because of that, and because I've done the same exact fucking thing,
Yeah,
I think we're able to hold this space and create this container of power and authenticity where other men, other people, other women, but mostly men is who we're after here, are going to be
yeah.
able to come in and do the same thing. And they're going to be able to sit in this space and be vulnerable. They're going to be able to understand and open up and shift their perspective and not really understand about the universe or anything, but ultimately understand about themselves. And that's all we're doing is we're trying to turn people inward, like you said, doing the work, the healing, because that's where the power lies.
I had a conversation with a gentleman just the other day or just today about how he was going through he's going through a change. It's not a secret that he's going through a divorce, but what was the something that he felt vulnerable about was that he was going through something that he felt he was alone with and he didn't know how to talk about it. And instead of him trying to find answers, he ran into a stranger like myself and we just got to talking. And here it is. He finds out about my work, obviously, in a sense, I love talking about it. But then he finds out that he's not alone. So whether he becomes a new listener as to the conversation, the more people decide to become vulnerable, they can talk to strangers and enough talk to themselves and find healing. And again, people like us who are going to decide to step up, I don't know, man. It's a value, It's not even a to the horn thing. It's a value. Like
Yeah, it's very
It's a
honorable.
challenge also to like who else is out here doing this.
Hmm. She got going some push-ups right there.
You know
I,
it.
s- I
You
see
know
you. I
it.
see you. All right. Yeah, and I think that takes us back to our original intention for this entire event. Before we came down to the wonder of your inner cosmos, it was, a loving reset. And
Yep.
how can we create space? How can we be loving and allow people to just reset, allow people to tap into that fresh start, that fresh love with themselves? So I think that's what we got here, Howard. When are
Yeah.
we launching? Do we set on the day yet? Is it the first week of March or
Definitely the first week of March.
okay, that first
Wonders of
weekend,
the inner,
right?
yeah, Wonders of the Inner Cosmos is something that we keep dynamically working on. Like you said, it's over 2 days and it's a back-to-back 2 hour course idea of us giving examples of how to be the best versions of ourselves, whether it's through the Wake Up and Wonder or Live in Wonderfully or Master Your Cosmos. Um, I also feel it's continuous. I think we should like turn it into a fucking series, like a show, you know, the Cosmo and Jason show or whatever. And
I'm
we just
down.
like, man, if we lived close together, it'd be so awesome because we could create episodes. Like it's so fun to do this when you're confident about it and when you have a community to share it with.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
Denver's always been my dream city. So, are
Don't
you
come
in
here. Don't
Denver?
come here. I'm coming there.
You're coming to
I'm coming
Cali?
there. Yeah, yeah. Cali it is,
Uh,
or at least
ta
some opportunity to get out there.
yeah, taxes are killer, man. Taxes are killer.
Buddy, I heard. I heard. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
All right, cool, cool. Hey, so as we get wrapping up here, I always ask people at the end of my podcast, what is your definition of wonder, my friend? How would you define wonder?
Okay. Um, Wonder would be the way to always question everything with enjoy.
A way to question everything in joy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because I
So
can
does,
question stuff in fear, and that might offer me some type of anxiety, but I wouldn't want to wonder and if I'm fear of it. But
hmm.
wonder is still the unknown to me, and if I have joy, then I can still go into it.
So wonder is allowing you to approach the unknown with joy and excitement
Word,
in a sense. So in a sense, it's like power. You're tapping into a power that lets you just push past.
word.
Hey, that makes me think of clouds. So you have this theory, clouds.
Okay.
That's what that sounds like. You're just jumping over these clouds.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
cloud
yeah.
stands for consciously leaping over unknown dimensions in space, right?
Yeah. Consciousness leaping over unknown dimensions in space. Yeah. Yep, 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 yep.
And that's basically that. Just taking that big jump and going after it, or what is that?
Not so much blindly. I love the idea that you can do something with the tenacity and energy of just rah, but that is blinding at times. Just jumping into the unknown. So
Right.
it is the energy of the masculine in that way
Okay.
of like woo, but it's the gut feeling of the feminine in the way that I know this is right. And
Mm,
so it's consciousness, meaning so it's the awareness with strength and confidence, leaping, so you're doing some physical action over unknown dimensions. It's still unknown, and dimensions within space. And space is your now. So it could be just your thoughts. And it could be your physical life. So that's why it's so beautiful in the homogeneous combined way that it is. Combined? What
yes.
am I trying to say? Yeah.
Yeah. I love that, and I love how you always talk about balancing out the masculine and the feminine, and I think that's what I try to do myself as well. And in this realm of healing, we have to do it.
Every
So,
day. Day.
yeah, I think we're really grounding each other in that sense. So I'm excited to see how it's going to manifest in our course.
Yeah,
So,
man. Yeah, we got to make something happen this summer and as the course continues. So, for all you watchers out there, remember Wonders of the Inner Cosmos with Jason and myself. Go check out his podcast, Wake Up and Wonder. Go check out my podcast, Only Black Cosmonaut. We both have recent episodes detailing or giving stronger examples of what's happening with this Wonders of the Inner Cosmos course. Um, it's really for men. Women can lovely join, but know that we're going to talk a lot and focus a lot on the masculine energy, how to step into your role as a man, even with this big reset of life. That's what's happening now. Be confident. But it's a game changer. I'm not even gonna lie to you. If you're really ready for this mission, then get ready. But if you're not, then watch the guys who decide to step in and make that difference, and then eventually we can all work together. No rush, but it's time.
Right. Amen, brother. So I'll leave you on that. I think
Mhm.
we're going to be live on the stories this week too, not live, but we'll be hopping on our stories and sharing our experiences because
Yep.
we're taking each other's courses throughout the week as well, right?
Yep. Yep. And
Good.
I do want to say I love your course, man. You offer such a how can I put it? The word is different, but it's distinctive in a way where it's more like I never thought of it like that, but obviously, it's like, yeah. And it's so profound where for me, I'm very logical. So to have such a not logical, but yet confident approach, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a fresh approach. I describe it as like a very grounded
Yeah.
perspective shift. Like sometimes when we get that perspective shift, if we're not grounded, then there's that sense of fear and there's that sense of overwhelm. But the fact that this perspective shift is not necessarily logical and it's grounded, it kind of leaves us feeling empowered, in my experience.
I
Cool,
agree.
man. All
I
right, well, I'm
agree.
gonna let you knock out what you got, like 200 push-ups to go.
No worries, man. I just do them till it hurts. I'll talk with you later. Again,
All right,
thanks so
brother.
much for everybody who watched. Wonders of the Inner Cosmos, Jason and Howard, get ready.
Peace out, listeners. Appreciate you guys. Check out the Only Black Cosmonaut podcast. See ya.
Yes, check out Wake Up and Wonder. Later.
Between his course and my course.